Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine from the Jasmine Brand is here.
Good morning, Angela.
Good morning, Jasmine Brand.
It's the end of the week.
Yes, it is. It's a Friday.
Yeah, it is.
I am actually headed to Vegas right now.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
fun.
today because it's the iHeart Festival this weekend, so I'm excited for that.
Okay.
You've never been to the iHeart Festival?
I have not. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you're not going to be there.
I am not. Yeah.
What do you have to do this weekend?
I'll be in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
I'm always, when I'm not here, I'm always on mommy duty. I'm going to be speaking at the Creator Summit, which is this cool organization that's for women of color. Mm-hmm. And it's really like a networking opportunity. They have these big summits every year. So they're having this summit during Congressional Black Caucus. I'm going to be on the summit Saturday at 10 a.m. And the name of my panel is Meet the Disruptors. Yay. And it's really about women who have kind of took a pivot from their career and they disrupted the industry they were working in. So I'm going to be speaking on that panel.
Yeah, let's never forget Jasmine was working in marketing and left to go start the Jasmine Brand full time. Yeah. Well, really, she didn't have a choice.
I didn't have a choice. So anyway, if you
found out you had that site on the side, they said, ma'am,
it's over. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm going to be speaking at the Creator Summit. So I'm looking forward to that in DC.
Okay. Well, if anybody's in DC, check that out. It's also the Congressional Black Caucus, so it's a good time out there.
It's an active weekend in DC right now.
I was just there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So trust me, I know. Shout out to everybody at Black Health. All right, but we have a great show for you today. We have Jahliel, Thurman, and Fred Whitaker joining us from HBCU 101. And again, Jasmine, you went to an HBCU.
I did. I went to Morgan State University in Baltimore. I talk about it all the time, so I'm excited to listen to this interview.
Yes, and to listen to HBCU 101 for anybody that's, going to an HBCU, that went to an HBCU, goes to one, or is got kids that they want to send to an HBCU, or if you want to go to one, I think it's a great conversation to have. HBCU enrollment is up while regular college enrollment, just standard across the board is down, but HBCU enrollment is up.
Okay.
All right, so we'll talk about all of that. But in the meantime, let's shine a light on them. 800-292-5150 is the number. Call us up. Let us know who you want to shine a light on. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
I'ma shine. Turn your lights on, y'all.
Turn your lights on.
Spreading love to those who are doing greatness.
Shine a light on them. Shine a light on them.
It's time to shine a light on them.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine Brand is here.
Hey, Angela.
Hi, Jasmine. And it's time to shine a light on them. And I know on this Friday, we want to make sure that you shine a light on somebody who's really special. And she takes my place when I'm not around.
Yeah, I want to shine a light on my mom, Audrey. I love her dearly. She's super helpful. Obviously, she's my mom. But now that I'm a mom, too, she's really comes in and helps me with my daughter, Rain. The other day, Rain doesn't like taking a bath right now. So it's a
like
whole...
her mama.
Whatever. It's a whole struggle to get a 2-year-old to take a bath. And my mom kind of helped me and talked me through it and helped me wash Rain's hair. And she calms me down. And she really just kind of had to step in and interject and kind of be the good grandmother she is. So anyway, I wanted to thank my mom so much for helping me with Rain. She helped me throughout my pregnancy, and I just want to give her flowers just for helping me be a mom, because it's tough sometimes.
All right, that's cute. I love it. And yeah, your mom is funny too.
She is. She's a trip.
Shout out to you, mama.
She's a good time.
All right, well, it's time for you guys to call us up and shine a light on them. 800-292-5150 is the number. Trav, what's good?
Yes, Mr. Yee.
Happy Friday, Trav. Now, today is the day, right?
Today is the day. I got my song. I switched the song up, but I gave you a different one.
What? How you switch the song? Ooh. You couldn't make it clean?
Yeah, it was a little too. It was a little too ratchet.
He said it was too. Is there such a thing as too ratchet? No. For radio, maybe there is.
Okay, sexy Trav.
But I got a different one for you. But also, I'm calling to shine a light real quick, Yee.
Okay, shine a light.
So it was my sister's birthday the other day. As you all know, she passed away at the age of 20. Okay. So she would have been 23 the other day, man. So I just want to shine a light on her. And
happy heavenly birthday to her.
Thank you, Jazz. Thank you. I truly appreciate that.
All right. Well, thank you. Yeah, happy heavenly birthday. We love you, Trav.
I love y'all too, and I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing out to you.
Yeah, make sure you send us everything we need, okay?
All right, baby.
We're gonna be debuting some new Trav music today for New Music Fridays,
and we're gonna run it up.
All right, thanks, Trav.
Bye, Trav.
All right. Well, that was Shine a Light on Them. 800-292-5150 is the number just in case you couldn't get through. And when we come back, we have Yeetie, and we'll be talking about Naomi Campbell and this documentary called The Supermodel that's on Apple TV. And she's talking about just her career and being labeled, quote, difficult. It's Way Up with Angela Yee. Yeetie next.
They say it's truth in the rumors.
From industry shade to all the gossip, Angela's spilling that Yee tea.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee. Jasmine Brand is here. And it's time for your favorite thing, Yee tea on my favorite day.
Yay!
All right. Naomi Campbell is in a new documentary called The Supermodels on Apple TV, by the way. And she talks about being an outspoken Black woman and how difficult that was in that business. You know, I always hear so much about that business and how wild it can be, but also racist, right? And also very superficial, because imagine everything rides on how you look.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's too hard.
All right, here's what she had to say.
I would do all these great shows, wear all these beautiful dresses, but then it would come time to the advertising and I would not be included. I wasn't going to be bullied for the color of my skin.
She also talks about her struggles with alcohol and drug addiction between 1998 and 2005 and how that all happened. Here's what she had to say.
When you try to cover something up, your feelings, you spoke about abandonment, I tried to cover that with something. You can't cover it. I was killing myself.
All right. Well, I really definitely found this to be so interesting. And she talks about owning up to her mistakes and going to rehab and how it was the best and only thing that she could have done for herself. So you guys make sure you check that out.
Okay.
All right. Another really powerful documentary is Kirk Franklin. He met his biological father and also reunited with his estranged son in this documentary. It's called Father's Day. And the clip also serves as an announcement for his new album, all right, Father's Day, a Kirk Franklin story. He has so much, you know, that he deals with.
Yeah.
And he's very open and transparent. I actually did his podcast.
Oh, did you? How was that?
Before. It was great. I really like being able to sit down and have conversations with him. He's been up here, too, to Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yep, him and his
with
wife
his wife
came up
Tammy.
here. Yeah.
And so he posted, I'm extremely grateful for the amount of comments, texts, and calls from those who have been touched by the doc. I'm amazed that so many have similar stories. Hashtag this is us.
Nice.
You know, he previously believed that his father was another man, Dwight Allen, who died in 2020. But he did end up meeting his real father. And here's what happened.
You know, I see him. I can't even tell you what I felt, what I was thinking. So you're saying to me that it never came up that I've always wondered. It never occurred to me that at any point in my life that you could have a child with that person or that person or that person. Because I can tell you, had I been aware of any such possibility, I would have pursued the truth about it. I'm sorry, man. It's not your fault. You didn't know.
Imagine finding out that your father lives minutes away from you and your family.
That's crazy.
Your whole life. And now at the age of 53, he managed to meet his father.
Wow.
Whew.
You know, one of the things I also love about Kirk Franklin is obviously he's super talented, but he's funny.
Yeah, he got a potty mouth secretly.
He is funny.
All right. Well, Kirk Franklin's LP is coming out on October 6th, so you guys can get Father's Day at that time. He said the title is a triple meaning.
Okay.
The log line is, it's what I miss, where I am, and what has always been. And he said, I'm still built to believe.
Okay. I love it.
Imagine
That's
that.
deep.
All right. Well, shout out to you, Kirk Franklin. And Lil Wayne has announced a new project that's going to be coming out before the Carter 6. And it's called The Fix Before the 6. So he did share a pre-save link to that project in his Twitter and Instagram bios. Shout out to you, Reginae. Because when Toya and Reginae were guest hosting, she was like, don't forget my father.
She
don't play about her daddy.
She be repping her daddy.
All right, so I did that for you, Reginae. Shout out to Lil Wayne. He's got a new project dropping before the Carter 6. I'm Angela Yee. Jasmine Brand is here, and that is your Yeetie. When we come back, we have About Last Night. That's where we discuss what we did, what went down last night. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Judgment Free Zone. Tell us a secret.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. And part of this show is not just showing love, but also not judging you. Okay? So... Well, I can do that. I don't know if everyone does it. Some people up here be showing judgment when they co-host. But I will say, it is nice to be able to get those secrets out there into the world. Sometimes it's a burden lifted off of you. Sometimes y'all just entertaining. 800-292-5150 is the number. And remember, you are anonymous. And remember, there is no judgment, okay? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. Tell us a secret. 800-292-5150. Hello, anonymous caller. Tell us a secret.
So, me and my girl like to do some crazy shit, right?
Uh-huh.
She like to put peanut butter on my back and lick it off. And I like to put whipped cream on her back and lick it off, right?
Okay.
But lately, the peanut butter been itching my back, and I don't know how to tell her that I don't want to do it no more.
Well, you might want to use a different type of peanut butter. It sounds like you might have a nut allergy.
Yeah, maybe vegan. No, would vegan have nuts?
I don't. Do you have a nut allergy?
It's like it might be the nuts.
No, I don't got no type of allergies. It's just starting to irritate me now. I guess my skin want to try something different. I don't know.
Well, maybe suggest what other food does she like?
Maybe I should try mangoes or something, but I don't know how to bring it up to her.
I think buy the mangoes and be like, let's try this. She should also see that it's itching your back, you know?
Right.
You right.
Yeah, I think she'll like that as long as it's another food that she likes.
I'm going to kick it out to her and see what she says.
Although mango doesn't spread like peanut butter.
Well, what about chocolate syrup?
Yeah, you need something that's more like a spread.
Yeah, you need a spread.
I want some of that chocolate syrup.
There you go. All right. Thank you for sharing.
You.
All right. Hey, y'all follow me on Instagram, Coach Peace.
This defeats the purpose of being anonymous.
You're supposed to be anonymous.
We got you. Hello, tell us a secret.
Hey, I was working at this job when I was about 19, and I ended up messing with a mom. She got fired, and her daughter came on to me, but the daughter was engaged to this guy that was actually working there, and I messed with the sister of the engaged guy also.
Okay, so you messed with the sister of the engaged guy.
Yes, and the mom of the person.
And the mom.
Yes.
Did you get anybody? Was the mom fired because of you?
Yeah, and they brought me back. They fired both of us, and then they brought me back.
How did y'all get caught?
Yeah.
I was young and dumb, and I told one of my friends at work.
Oh, and they told?
They
hate
snitched?
for her was, yes, they snitched. The hate for her was more than the love she had for me. But they brought me back, though. It was no bad blood.
Wow.
Who was the sex better with?
Probably the daughter.
Okay, that's good. Less experience, but
Yeah. All right. That's good to know.
that's life. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing.
No problem.
All right, anonymous caller, tell us a secret.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
What's your secret?
Okay, so my secret is that my husband, I've been married for 20 years, and my husband says that he wanted to spice things up a little bit, you know, in the bedroom. Mm-hmm. So he said that he wanted to try something new. He wanted me to, you know, have sexual intercourse with another guy while he watched.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So I did, and I enjoyed it so much that now I have a full-on relationship with the guy that I have sex with.
Does your husband know?
No.
He doesn't know that you guys are having a relationship.
No.
Okay.
Okay. And what's the plan? Just to keep it going like that?
I have no clue. I didn't intend this. He actually introduced the situation, and obviously I had way too much fun with it. And
okay, that's why. See, be careful what you open the door for.
Sheesh. Okay.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Good luck.
All right, thank you.
All right, well, that was Tell Us a Secret. And remember, the phone lines are always open for you to call in and leave that anonymous secret with us. 800-292-5150 is the number. It's Way Up with Angela Yee. Tell us a secret.
Yo, she about to blow the lid up off this pot.
Let's get it.
Oh, yeah. Angela's spilling that Yee tea.
Come and get the tea.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine Brand is here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. And it's time for some Yee tea. And let's talk about music.
Okay.
All right. Spotify, their billion streams club. There's some new artists and songs that have hit that 1 billion Spotify streams. Among them, Fun, featuring Janelle Monáe.
Oh, nice.
We Are Young. That is my joint. I heard that in the Uber the other day.
Oh, did you?
Yes. I felt like you were with me, but we were singing that song like tonight. We are young. That song is so dope. But that song came out in 2011. I didn't even realize that, but that song
I thought it was older. Okay.
hit 1 billion streams on Spotify. So shout out to them for that. Another song, Rema, featuring Selena Gomez. Okay, Calm Down. It's the first time an African artist-led track has hit 1 billion streams on Spotify.
Dope.
So that's a huge deal. And you know they won the VMA as well. So shout out to them for that. And I'm not going to lie.
What?
For Rema to put Selena Gomez on that song, he knew what he was doing. Let's be clear. Selena Gomez has like 400 and something million followers on Instagram. So anything that she's on is automatically, I feel like, gonna
run it up. Yep.
But she did say that she's grateful after that collaboration hit 1 billion Spotify streams. And Selena Gomez also was talking to the Hollywood Reporter about her documentary that was on Apple TV. She said she will never watch it again. You know, but yeah, she just says things can be a little bit heavy and things like that. So for her, I guess she always has taken breaks from social media. And even her being the most followed woman on Instagram is not important. She said, I've never really cared about that stuff. I suppose I'm grateful for the platform and I would love to continue to use it for what I'm able to do, but numbers are just numbers.
I know that's right. She sounds very grounded.
Yeah. You know, she said she had hesitations about that documentary she did last year, My Mind and Me. She said, I was very against it, but it also talks about her battles with mental illness, with lupus, bipolar disorder. And she said there was a very long period of time where I just didn't know if it was a good idea. I knew eventually one day I wanted to maybe just be an actress for a while, and I didn't know if it would jeopardize things in my life. But she says she just can't watch it. It's very hard for her to watch, and she'll never watch it again, but she is proud of it.
Okay, that's fair.
Do you watch stuff that you've done?
I try not to.
Why is that so hard to do?
Is it? What about you for you?
Yeah. I hate it.
Okay. See? Same.
And speaking of acting, let's talk about Mark Wahlberg. He said that he became a producer so he wouldn't have to wait for Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Tom Cruise to reject roles that he wanted.
That's funny.
All right. So that's hilarious to me. He did an interview with Cigar Aficionado magazine, and he said he started producing out of necessity. He said, I was always proactive in trying to find material and things that I could produce that I knew was right for me to create my own destiny. And he said he also wants to have more creative control of the films in which he is a lead actor. Okay. So that makes perfect sense to me.
He's creating his own opportunities.
If you want what you want, go out there and create it. Yeah. And he had the means to be able to do that. All right. I'm Angela Yee, and that is your Yeetie. And when we come back, we have Under the Radar. Those are the stories that are not necessarily in the headlines. They are flying under the radar. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
I got news. This in the news that relates to you. These stories are flying under the radar.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine Brand is here. And we are doing Under the Radar. These are the stories that are not necessarily in the headlines. They are flying under the radar.
Okay.
All right. The U.S. government is going to be relaunching a program to provide free COVID-19 home tests to Americans. That's crazy. Sherry Shepherd just got COVID.
She did.
So she had to delay her show for this week and do some reruns.
When I caught a cold last week, I went and bought a COVID test to see if it was COVID, because you just never know, you know?
Right. And, you know, U.S. households can order 4 free tests from covidtest.gov.
Okay.
And that all starts on September 25th. So if you need to do that, might as well. You know, COVID hospitalizations have been on the rise since July. And we just got to be careful. But, you know, obviously there's been a lot of progress. So it's different now.
Yeah,
we don't
better.
see people dying the way that they did. We don't see it as widespread, but you still got to be careful.
Yes, you do.
All right. Now, according to an analysis of the UK Biobank data, there was a relationship between coffee consumption and the risk of depression and anxiety. Individuals who consume 2 to 3 cups of coffee daily had the lowest risk of these mental disorders, but risk increased if you had fewer or more than this amount. So I guess 2 to 3 cups of coffee is what this study is saying is the sweet spot.
Okay, 2 to 3 cups. All right.
All right.
That might be good for me.
Yeah, and coffee consumption is a global practice. As I've told you before, previous studies have associated moderate coffee intake with reduced risk of type 2 diabetes, chronic liver disease, stroke, cancer, and a general lower risk of death. So drinking a cup of coffee daily can reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease by 9%. And they believe that caffeine, which is a key component in coffee, is believed to influence mental health. I always tell people, too, if you have a headache or a hangover, coffee's good because of the caffeine.
Also, unsweetened coffee.
Yeah, unsweetened coffee.
Yeah.
I do add a little oat milk.
Yes.
But that's it. I don't add any sugar or anything.
Okay.
All right. And let's talk about, since we're discussing things that are in our food and food labels, there is a lawyer, New York's, quote, vanilla vigilante lawyer, Spencer Sheehan. He has been suing over BS food labels. All right, he launched a $5 million class action lawsuit against Kellogg's in 2021. He said their Pop-Tarts had an inadequate amount of actual strawberries. That suit did get dismissed, by the way, but he did say companies are trying to trick people, and he believes that the most deceptive packages are often on breads and fruit juices, so he wants consumers to not fall for fancy words and images. He said a lot of breads in the bread aisle of the supermarket have labels and names like multigrain, stone grain, oat grain, and hearty wheat when they're actually only refined grains.
Okay.
And so he wants to make sure that people pay attention to that and also that things get labeled properly.
Okay. I like strawberry Pop-Tarts, but I don't like the ones with frosting.
Now, he did reach a $2.6 million settlement with Blue Diamond over a proposed federal class action about the company's Almond Breeze vanilla-flavored milk and yogurt products.
Okay.
So, yes, he's filed more than 100 lawsuits against food companies for allegedly deceiving consumers with claims that their products contain real vanilla.
All right.
It's true. You read these things and you're like, I always tell people read the labels, and the less ingredients and the most, like I had those pressed juices, it would be like ginger, apple, lemon. That was all that was in it.
Yeah.
So just pay attention and always read the labels. And items that are often marketed as better for you products can be very deceptive. You might think there's health benefits and then find out later on they're not.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, now, a Japanese tourist was upset.
Okay.
She had a $1,000 restaurant bill and she called the police about it. She was visiting Singapore and said that she wasn't informed of the cost of the meal beforehand. She did not know that her bill was going to be $1,000.
Wow. That's an expensive bill.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
She got nearly 8 pounds of Alaskan king crab. And we're going to talk about this because sometimes people get offended when you go to a restaurant and they try to tell you what the cost is going to be or if there's an upcharge.
Right.
But you kind of got to do that. We're going to talk about this because imagine you order a meal and you think that it is, maybe it's expensive, but you're not thinking $1,000.
Right.
We'll discuss that more later. But when we do come back, we have the Way Up Mix at the top of the hour. Plus, we have Fred Whitaker and Jahliel Thurman joining us for HBCU 101. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Way up.
Just like to talk like they Angela Yee, like they Angela Yee.
Man, she's spilling it all. This is Yee T. Way up.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine Brand is here with me.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. And let's get into some Yee tea. Now, Taraji P. Henson, we actually saw her up here the other day.
Yeah, she stopped by and said hi to you.
Yes, she was at the Today Show, and she was talking about her mission to bring more resources directly to women on campuses of HBCUs.
Okay.
How appropriate today, because we do have Fred Whitaker and Jahliel Thurman coming up from HBCU 101. She wants to make sure that there's more resources, yes, just for women. And she also announced a partnership with Kate Spade New York to create the She Care Wellness Pods. That is a place for students to be able to decompress. All right, here's what she had to say.
It's a respite center, so it's a place where you can go and decompress. A lot of students have never had a therapist. It's a place where you can speak openly about mental wellness because in our community, we don't really talk about it. It's taboo. So we want a safe space for students to come and be able to talk about what might be bothering them.
Here's more about what she had to say about her own mental health journey and the importance of therapy, which she has been talking about for quite some time.
You revealed that you thought about taking your own life during the pandemic. How did you get out of that dark place?
Well, because I have a therapist. I knew for me, getting it out of my head, like saying it, this is how I feel, would help. Then my friends were like, they got really concerned. So we found a place for me to go in Bali for me to just regroup and gather myself. And the thing about mental wellness is knowing when it's enough, knowing when to say no, knowing when you've reached your limit.
All right, so you guys can watch that full interview. Again, that was on the Today Show. All right, and also shout out to Black China. She's celebrating 1 year sober.
Nice. That's a big deal.
It is definitely a big deal. And you know, she was on the Tamron Hall show. She was also makeup free.
I know that, which is another big deal. Can you imagine going on TV with no makeup
on the show? And not only that, she got rid of a lot of her enhancements.
She did.
She looks. Honestly, she does look way better.
Yeah, she's pretty.
I like it.
She's pretty.
All right, well, here's what she had to say on Tamron Hall.
You are celebrating 1 year of sobriety.
Yes.
That's huge.
Today.
Huge.
1 year today.
Huge.
Not even a little shot, a little wine, a little this.
And you're in LA.
Nothing. It's like, no, I'm good. What helped me was bringing myself down to reality. And then realizing, like, okay, am I hurting or helping the people around me?
Also, another huge surprise happened on Tamron Hall with Blac Chyna. Her mom surprised her. That was very emotional. I love that.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that for her.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to this.
You reconciled with your mom, and
Yes.
she wanted to be here, as you know. Tokyo, Tony, come on out! And you got me, little high-low, beautiful lady. First of all, why are you crying? How does it
Because I never thought that I would get to this point.
All right, well, that was Yeetie. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about, imagine you go to a restaurant and your bill ends up being $1,000 for some crab.
Yikes.
And you had no idea it was going to be that expensive. Well, one woman was so mad, she called the po-po. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yeah, she back at it. Bring in the back. Way Up with Angela Yee is on.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine Brand is here.
Yes, I'm here.
And our producer, Dan, really wants to weigh in on this. He's very passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
But a tourist was outraged. She was visiting Singapore, and her restaurant bill was $1,000. She ended up calling the cops because she said she was not properly informed of the meal's cost. She was getting this Alaskan king crab. I'm so glad I don't eat seafood, by the way.
It's expensive. I eat seafood.
But it was £8, and she did not know it was going to be so expensive. She said the waiter highlighted the crab as a dish priced at $20 without explaining that they charge per 100 grams. They said to prevent any miscommunication, though, the staff brought the whole Alaskan king crab to the table before preparation. But she said she wasn't told the whole crab would be cooked only for us. She thought that her group was going to be given a portion of the crab. So I guess they showed it to her. She didn't know they were getting that whole entire $1,000 crab.
Okay. What was a group of them? Okay, well, that's kind of different.
Yeah, there's a group of them, but, you know, she said the total bill was about $1,000, and she asked them to call the police.
Mm-hmm.
And officers did come, and they got a discount of about $78 after some discussion, and her friend paid for the meal with his credit card. He wasn't expecting that either.
Right.
But she called the police, and her case was referred to the Consumers Association. She did a whole thing.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Now, what do you guys think about this?
I think if it's something excessive, first of all, I'm just used to going to restaurants, and when anything I order is an upcharge, they usually say, oh, it's going to be an extra, you know, and I'm like, okay, cool. Or if I want a certain kind of cocktail, I want a certain kind of tequila, they're like, oh, it's going to be extra. So I certainly understand being upset when you get your bill and not being told how much something is going to cost.
Okay. Now, Dan, you had a different thought. Our producer, Dan, was so mad about this.
I understand. No, I feel for her because she's a tourist. That's where, like, I feel bad about the situation.
Right.
But with that being said, like 99 times out of 100, Alaskan king crab legs is going to be the most expensive thing on the menu, period. And anytime you go to like these really nice restaurants that have this stuff, specifically Alaskan king crab legs, it's usually going to say MP for market price, which then you have to go ahead and ask how much it is, or it's going to be charged by the pound.
I feel like you're being sneaky if you don't tell me. And that's fine. It's fine that it says market price on it. That's fine. But I feel like you should tell the customer, FYI, it's market pricing right now, it's X amount of dollars.
I agree, but it's typically the nicer, fancier restaurants that have that.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a more fairly priced restaurant that's going to have an MP.
So you're saying, suck it up, lady.
I mean, no.
It seems sneaky, though, to me.
It sucks. It definitely sucks. But you have to know that if you're getting Alaskan king crab legs, it's not going to be cheap. It's going to be expensive. Like
I know that, but I wouldn't expect to have a bill like that, though. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I wouldn't expect, and I eat seafood.
Well, they did get
$78 discount.
$78 off.
Okay, all right.
That is definitely a joke. Now, I will say that you know, some people get offended when you're like, okay, well, you know, if you get the reposado, it costs X. But I do think it's important to give people a heads up because $1,000 is a lot.
It's a lot of money.
You know, and so just letting people know, hey, just so you know, this is going to be approximately
right. She could have took another trip for $1,000.
Yeah. And look, she done went and did everything. She called the police. She done went to the government.
She went and played around.
All for $78. All right.
All for $1,000.
Well, no, to get $78 off.
Yeah, what a waste.
All right. Well, let's get into some more things. Let's talk to Jahliel, Thurman, and Fred Whitaker. They have a show called HBCU 101. It's on Aspire TV.
Okay.
And it's the longest running show that they have on Aspire TV, by the way.
Oh, dope.
Clearly, they both went to an HBCU. So did you, Jasmine.
I did.
So you guys are going to love this conversation. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
You vibing Way Up with Angela Yee.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and I have two special guests with me today. First up is my guy, Frederick Whitaker. Fred Whit, as some people may know him. What? That's not your name?
That's my name. Hello, Yee. Hello.
And Jahliel Thurman is here.
Yes. Good. What up?
Okay, now, Jahliel Thurman, you are the host of HBCU 101. And Fred Whit, you are a producer.
Yes, I'm a EP producer on it. Yes.
Sorry, EP.
Yes. I'm a producer on it. Yes, on HBCU 101. It's a very intriguing show that we try to shed the light on people that graduated and went to HBCU so we can tell their stories.
And you both went to an HBCU, right? So you went to Virginia State University.
I did. Shout out to Trojan Nation in the building.
And Fred, what school did you go to?
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Everybody know what I represent, man. Come on.
We know. Now, in addition to managing your guy Jahliel, you also managed Terrence J. That's how we first met, actually, when Terrence was doing 106 in Park. And did you guys meet at A&T?
Yeah, me and TJ, we actually met at A&T, which was funny. We had a mutual friend by the name of Kim Worth that introduced TJ and I to myself to each other. And TJ was on the radio in college. So I was interested in that. That was my major, journalism and communications. So the day I met him, he handed me a stack of flyers and was like, yo, pass these out. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, what part of the game is this? But then I was like, you know what? If I really want to be in this business, in this game and learn this game, then I'll do it. And he did it as a test. Next thing you know, I had the flyers all over A&T's campus. And from there...
So you didn't just throw them out?
Nah, I didn't. Back then there was no social media, so I actually had to put it on the cars. So from there we just built a friendship and built a bond and a career in this industry over 20 years now. He was like SGA president. I was on the chief of staff. He was a host. I was a DJ. Shout out to my guy Trav Bond and Quiet, man. We had this little group called Team Dollar in college where we did all of the parties. We did step shows, fashion shows. So everything that I'm doing now, I actually learned at A&T just coming up.
Right now I'm talking to Jahliel Thurman and Fred Whitaker. Fred is the producer and Jahliel is the host and creator of HBCU 101. And Jahliel, you're from Chicago.
Yep.
So what was that like for you going from Chicago to Virginia State University?
Man, we were literally just talking about this earlier. It was probably the hardest transition. Chicago is a big city, quick, fast paced. Petersburg, Virginia. I don't know if you've ever been to Petersburg, Virginia, but it's very small. And also, too, just the culture and the vibe at Virginia State was different. Coming from Chicago, we talk a certain way. I got made fun of because I don't do the R. I don't pronunciate the R. The car. You know what I'm saying? They no, it's car. And I'm like, nah, it's the car.
You be like, the what?
Yeah.
What is that?
What is that? And so, but then you start to really be exposed to just different cultures. And so after my freshman year, which I hated it, honestly, I ended up joining a frat, SGA president, vice president.
Which frat?
The one that matters, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Yeah.
My bad. We're working.
But and then that's when I really found out who I was gonna be. My dad told me in high school, yo, go to HBCU. 5.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So you always knew because you had applied to other HBCUs as well, but you knew you were going to go to an HBCU.
Yeah, so I applied to all schools, got in. Virginia State came to Chicago for a scholarship reception. They offered me the most money. My mom used to say, you got to pay for college. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, people pay for school. I'm like, well, I didn't pay for high school. Why am I paying for college? And I'm like, I'm not going to pay for college. And how the cookies fell, I didn't pay for college. And so it was 2 questions. Money was paid for, and then it was, I asked some friends that was there. I said, are the cues on the yard? They like, yeah. I said, I'll see y'all in the fall. And that's how I got to Virginia State.
Let's get to the show because what's great about it is not just celebrities, but it's also everyday successful people who have gone to HBCUs in all different types of fields.
We want to be able to tell everybody's story, man. And we think that we want people to know that you can go to a HBCU and you can still be super successful in any field that you want to be in. And we just like shedding the light on those stories. So we've had big time celebrities up there, and then we've had people up there that has coffee shops or that's doing tailor suits or whatever it is. And we want to shine the light on them to help support them. Yeah, all of that. We have everybody up there. We're 8 seasons in. Well, this is going to be the 8th season.
Will Packer was on. That was a good episode. Will Packer will represent.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but see, but I'll be honest with you, like, first season we had Keisha Knight Pulliam and Will Packer, so definitely shout out to them. But when Will came, we actually started off in a garage, and a lot of people wouldn't know it because it don't look like it. But for him, it was so nostalgia of where he started and where he's at, and now we just closed on a warehouse in Atlanta. So
congratulations to that. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's huge when we know where we started.
Y'all have no idea.
Imagine starting off in the garage with Will Packer.
Yeah, and that's the crazy.
And it's crazy because when he pulled up,
it was a house.
And Will knows me. He's like, Fred, where do you have me at? And I'm like, whoa, Will, like, just you got to see the studios on the inside. We up and coming. Yeah, you got to see the bigger vision. And of course, he supported it, man. So.
He walked in, was like, oh, okay, I see it now. All right. And it was just like mad cool. So yeah, shout out to Will for sure.
All right, Jahliel Thurman is here. Fred Whitaker is here. We have more when we come back. We're talking about HBCU 101. If you went to an HBCU, you're gonna love this. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yeah, she back at it. Bring in the Mac. Way Up with Angela Yee is on.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee and Jahliel Thurman, the host of HBCU 101. And Fred Whitaker, he is the producer for HBCU 101. They are here with us. Jahliel, you guys went from the garage and you're on Aspire TV.
Yeah.
So can we talk about that partnership too?
Honestly, as you know, you always need somebody who's going to give you a chance. Ty Johnson. So when I was doing Yard Talk content, I met Ty, who's also a Q as well. Ty was asking me to do some digital work. And I was like, all right, cool. And one thing I've learned about relationships is about deposits and withdrawals, right? You can't go to the bank and take out a withdrawal if you ain't putting no money in it.
Right.
So Ty was like, yo, look, we ain't got no money. But he would, it was a word, it was a phrase he would say, I can't remember at the moment, but it was like, look, just stick in it. And I'm like, cool. So I did the digital work, came out of pocket. And so when I actually moved to Atlanta, I had quit my job. Fred was like, look, if you really want to make it entertainment, you got to leave Richmond. So I was in Richmond, DC, New York, LA, or Atlanta. And so I said, all right, well, I'm going to quit my job. I'm moving to A. The typical take the lead, whatever. But it was like, I feel like in this world, you either got time to make money or money to make time. You don't got both. Only wealthy people got both. And so I used my time and I hit time and I was like, look, I'm in the A. What's up? And so that's how the show came about. And they really just gave me a chance, right? Like I was doing digital work. I knew nothing about the production side. I knew how to work with a team. But then working with Tolly, who's the other producer on the show, he's the director. He has the background in TV and stuff like that. And we just been working. And it's been a relationship that, it started off because it was new for me and just trying to figure it out. But over the years, it's been a great partnership. They've been nothing but supportive. They've shown nothing but love.
Jahliel's been very humble for the first 2 to 3 seasons. You got to have passion and a drive to accomplish the goals you want to do. They didn't pay him the first 2 or 3 seasons. Wow. It was literally like, we're going to give you an outlet. We got to go out and shoot it. We got to go out and get our own guests. We got to chop it up. We got to produce it.
But here's the platform for us to
We're going to let you put it on TV. Yep. And then it got to the point where they was like, oh, you guys are knocking this out. Like, this is something here. And now we're 8 seasons in, and now the network is in full support of us. So it's just one of those things that he had the drive and he had the hunger. He was like, I'm going to put the work in. As long as, he had that window, he was like, I'm going to take advantage of this window as long as this window is open before it closes on him.
And I feel like that's what you got to do. Because you don't know when it's going to close.
Invest in yourself.
Got to. You got to be willing to bet on yourself.
Yeah. I always say that too, even with like the businesses that I have. A lot of times I invest everything myself and get it to a certain point where that way people can see you got to value what you have in order for other people to value it. If you're just expecting people to do things for you just because, it's never really going to happen the way that you expect.
For sure. We're the longest running show on the network. 8 seasons. The network is looking to renew and do some more things in the future. And different stuff like that. And it just shows that when you really invest and put the work in and you'll get people to support you. Cause like even my relationship with Fred, it just so he had to believe in me, and that's how we got here.
Right now, I'm talking to Jahliel Thurman and Fred Whitaker. Fred is the producer, and Jahliel is the host and creator of HBCU 101. But what can we look forward to seeing on the new season?
Man, this new season crazy. So every Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern on Aspire TV. We got DJ Trauma.
Oh, yeah, he's on the first
episode.
And DJ Trauma, by the way, that is my guy right
my
there.
guy.
But he is also Dave Chappelle's DJ. I was on the road with him.
Yeah.
But he went to Clark, right?
Yeah. So DJ Trauma in there, he came through, showed mad love. I love his stories. I love everybody's stories because it's all unique. Another DJ this year, we got DJ Stormy. She's a female DJ in Atlanta. I'm not sure if you're familiar. The Nike Yard Runner campaign. Nike did a campaign where they highlighted like yard runners, like people that ran the yard, and sent out Nikes and really just put a different spotlight on HBCU. So we got one of the people that actually created that movement. Arenze is going to be, he went to Howard, but then someone actually created the FAMU Dunk custom shoe. Kate the Great is on there. I got people in the community, like my guy Q Derek. He's doing some really amazing things in Fayetteville with just young entrepreneurs. And his thing was, when I grew up, I was going to school with flip-flops and socks, like, because I didn't have money to afford stuff. And so he's now giving back to the community. He just got recognized as 40 under 40. Yeah, the list is crazy. I got VPs and
that's great. Thank you so much. How can people reach you? Where can people watch? Just give all that information so they know how to tap in.
HBCU 101 on all platforms. We Aspire TV 12 p.m. Eastern. So it's right before football. So you can go ahead and tune in.
Let them know the longest running show.
Longest running show. 8th season and more to count. I'm Jahliel Thurman on all social.
I'm Frederick WJR on Instagram.
See, I
told you. Yep, that's all I got.
All right, well, thank you so much to Fred Whitaker. Thank you so much to Jahliel Thurman. Make sure y'all check out HBCU 101, new episodes every Sunday. We have Ask Ye when we come back. 800-292-5150 is the number. If you have a question, call us up. We got you.
Whether it's relationship or career advice, Angela's dropping facts.
All you should know.
This is Ask Ye.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and it is Ask Ye. 800-292-5150 is the number. We love to hear from you. And we have Jalen with a question.
Hey, Ms. Yee, how you doing?
Hey, Jalen. What's your question for Ask Ye?
My question is, how do you deal with in-laws who overstep without offending anyone or coming off as, like, being disrespectful?
Well, tell me what you mean by overstep.
Just overstepping in the sense of pretty much just getting in business I feel like you shouldn't be in.
Can you give us an example?
I just feel like a lot of things, like telling me, like her, my wife's, well, and it's not even really her father, it's her stepfather. He'll say things like, oh, you need to, like, there's a bunch of needs, or not, instead of telling me what he thinks I should do is you need to this or you need to that. Instead of just giving me, like, his opinion, it's more so like an order.
Is it possible to just say thank you and keep it moving and not feed into it?
I mean, yeah, that's true. I could do that. Just say thank you and keep it moving. But it's kind of, and he'll also do it, like, in front of folks, too. So it's almost like ego stroking almost for him.
Right.
Right. And listen, that's not your problem. That sounds more like his problem. And sometimes we feed into things because then that's your ego too. Like, why would he do that in front of that? When sometimes you're making something maybe a bigger deal. You can't control what someone else does, but what you can control is your reaction, right?
That's true.
And so what you can say is just be like, all right, thank you. Always love when you tell me what I need to do. Thumbs up. Because for real, because like you said, it's his ego. So he's doing that and he knows what your reaction is going to be.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you don't give people what they're trying to get from you, that's what'll make them stop rather than you having to be confrontational, because it feels like maybe that's kind of what he wants.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. That makes perfect sense. I appreciate that, yeah.
Because, I'm petty. I'll be like, oh, what else do I need to do? Word. Okay. Well, cool. Do me a favor. Can you write all that and send it to me in a text?
Exactly.
Yeah, but look, control your own reaction, because I feel like things can get blown out of proportion when you have this like kind of building up in you, and you can just Let it go. I mean, because it sounds, and I could be wrong, and I don't want to downplay how you're feeling, but it seems like it is something that bothers you. But if you can learn to just put it into perspective,
right,
and deal with it differently, then it could be something that doesn't have that same effect on you because you're letting it affect you.
Right. That makes sense.
You know, and if you could talk to your wife about it too, I feel like as long as she knows how you feel and she respects it, then it's always team you against them.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and she does respect it, but I also don't want to put her in a bad spot to where she's having to pick a side.
Yeah.
Well, she needs to pick your side, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And when he does it, all she got to do is give you a hug. And every time he does it, and y'all just have your own little inside laugh joke.
Mm-hmm. Your own little communication about it.
And then it could turn into a joke like, okay, when he comes today, let's write down how many times he says what I need to do.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to try that. And we'll laugh about it.
Exactly. Nice, a private joke. And let us know how it works. I'd love to hear it. But listen, anytime you start getting mad, just count to 10 backwards in your head. That'll calm you right down.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that.
All right.
Bye.
All right, thank you.
All right, well, that was Ask Ye. Jalen's funny. He sounded like he was a cool guy.
Yeah, he sounded concerned, but, reasonable.
Right. Right. Yeah. All right. Well, we have last word when we come back, and that's when you guys, of course, because this is your show, you get to have the last word. 800-292-5150 is a number at all times. You can have the last word. Just call us up. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Pick up the phone.
Tap in. Tap in and get your voice heard.
What the word is.
Here's the last word on Way Up with Angela Yee.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine Brand is here with me.
Yes.
Yes. I feel like sometimes I have all this information about music and artists in my head. Like somebody will say something to me about somebody and I'm like, oh, such as remember pop-up videos?
I do remember pop-up videos.
You watch something and then like interesting facts pop up.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
I feel like that's my life. I'm like a walking pop-up video. I need a break. All right. Well, anyway, you guys always have the last word and we love that for you. 800-292-5150 is a number. Last word.
Hey, this is Dave Collins calling from Chester, Pennsylvania. Just wanted to shine a light on my wife. We recently lost our daughter. She was born July 21st and passed July 28th. And she's just been holding us down and making sure, we stay afloat, making sure I eat. I just wanted to let her know, how much I love her and I'm proud of her. And I just want the world to know that she's a strong, phenomenal woman.
Hi, so my secret is that my boyfriend 40, aka Calvin, cheated on me. So now I'm planning to sleep with his brothers. So yeah, eat that.
Hey, my name is Jake. I would like to shine a light on the New Orleans Women and Children Shelter. They do an amazing job with helping homeless women and families that don't have nowhere to go. And I would just like to say thank you for all your hard work and dedication. Peace.
Hey, I want to shine a light on my dad. He had a heart attack last year, was in the hospital for 2 months, and now today he's just up, moving around. And right now I went on him getting his haircut. So I want to shine a light on my dad because he's a strong person, and I love him. Thank you.
Angela, I have a secret. The boyfriend that I had 13 years ago, my best friend left the show and got pregnant by him and kept the baby. So now that we are back hanging out, he has a 13-year-old son, and she's with her so-called baby dad that's supposed to be his dad. Little does she know, I know that the guy she is not his father. His father is my ex. And I haven't brought it up to her. And then I also feel like my godson, which is my ex, and her son, lives are involved. So if I be selfish and confront her, I'm going to be hurting other people. And that's why I haven't said nothing.
Going way up, turn up with Angela Yee.